Are you unknowingly spiking your blood sugar by eating any of these 5 healthy foods? I'm Dani Hamilton, a holistic nutritionist and blood sugar specialist. 10 years ago, I was really struggling with my health. I had PCOS, horrible PMS, acne, and I could not lose weight. And what I didn't realize was that my blood sugar was at the root of all of these issues. I was eating a really healthy diet at the time, all whole foods, everything grass-fed and organic, but what I didn't realize was that so many of the foods I was eating was spiking my blood sugar like crazy. So here are 5 of the foods that I was eating that was spiking my blood sugar, and when I took these foods out or lowered them, it really helped me to heal. Number 1, smoothies and acai bowls. I absolutely love these foods, and they're loaded with really healthy fruits. But when you put a ton of fruit, blend it up, and then oftentimes adding extra toppings, that's a huge load of glucose for our system. When you eat a smoothie, you typically eat way more fruits than you would ever eat in one sitting. So oftentimes you'll find that these foods give you really big blood sugar spikes. Number 2, natural sweeteners. Things like maple syrup, honey, dates, and even coconut sugar still spike your blood sugar. These sweeteners are definitely better choices than refined sugars, high fructose corn syrup, agave, white sugar, but they still do spike blood sugar even though they contain some nutrients and are less processed. Number 3, kombucha. I used to drink tons of kombucha until I realized that all the kombucha I was buying from the store was loaded with sugar. You can make some from home, and you can really brew all that sugar out of it to make it a little bit more vinegary, and that will have a lower sugar content. But typically, the kind that you find in the store will be loaded with sugar, unfortunately. Number 4, and this one might surprise you, starchy vegetables like sweet potatoes. I used to love sweet potatoes. I had them all the time, probably 1 per day. And unfortunately, these are packed with carbohydrates and starches and sugars. When we consume a lot of starch, the starch will break apart in our body and turn into glucose when it is digested. So it's basically like eating a bunch of sugar. Some examples of these starchy vegetables are potatoes, sweet potatoes, and butternut squash. And finally, number 5, whole grains. Yes, this includes oatmeal, even steel-cut oats. Unfortunately, grains contain a really high amount of starch, which we just talked about raises your blood sugar. Even though it hits your blood sugar slowly because it takes a while for that sugar to get into your system, it still is like eating a whole bowl of sugar. So things like oatmeal, brown rice, quinoa, for many people, these foods are really big blood sugar spikers. When it comes to blood sugar, we really have to get personal though. So we need to figure out what works for each individual person. I might spike a ton from a sweet potato, but my neighbor might not spike much from a sweet potato at all. If you really want to personalize your healing journey, my favorite way to do this is by getting a continuous glucose monitor. My program, Sugar Savvy, will help you get access to a continuous glucose monitor and learn how to interpret all this data so you can figure out what amounts of foods and what types of foods work best for you. In the caption below, you'll find a coupon code where you can access this program totally free. And I'd love to know in the comments what healthy foods spike your blood sugar.